Alrighty, welcome back. Yeah, so just continuing on here. Done scientific method for sixth grade, weather and water. And then now we're going to take a look at weather factors. This is the last of the weather area. So we're going to go into that. This is the PowerPoint that I use. This runs through the whole thing. We start out energy, basically what is light. We get into the what happens to light. We get into the greenhouse effect. We get into heat transfer, conduction, convection, all that kind of stuff. We get into the different ways of measuring temperature. Um, we do get into Kelvin, which is really cool. We did watch some clips from a NOVA Absolute Zero, which was a really good video, and the kids are really interested in it actually. What happens when things approach 0 degrees Kelvins. Okay, let's see here. Moving on. All right, how wind is made. Global wind patterns. This is a big one that they really had to learn to be able to do their presentations that they did later on. And I'm sure you know about this already, but it's hotter at the equator, direct sunlight, air rises, it comes, it falls around 30 degrees north and south latitude. And just that cycle that happens there, but then the cycle that happens here as well. And we go through all those. Um, and we just really use that and tie that into the different cities that we take a look at later on. This is the solar cookers that we make. We did test it indoor because it wasn't a very sunny day, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool what the kids came up with. Down here, this is just taking a look at the Coriolis effect. That was really good stuff, and that was really useful for their cities presentation as well. Water cycle, types of clouds, all that kind of stuff. Now, this gets into the trifold that they did, and for this one, split the kids up, put them in groups. We took a look at one group did Seattle, Grand Rapids, Miami, San Diego, Denver, and New York. Now, what they ended up doing is making a trifold on their city. They had to have all of this stuff in there and well explained, both on the trifold well explained and verbally they had to explain it as well. This was a really cool thing as far as education goes for the kids learning how to present. I was kind of surprised they didn't know that well how to present, and that's okay. They're sixth graders. It's all good. Um, and so what we ended up doing is made the trifold, well, did the research, made the trifold, and then recorded them, videotaped them doing their presentation. And then we watched it as a group, not the whole class, but we watched it just as a group, taking a look at their own presentation. We stopped it, we took notes on what they could be doing better in their presentation, and we probably did two different practice rounds of them actually presenting and then watching themselves how well they did in their presentation before they did their final thing. Okay. Let's see here some group work norms, and I love this little quote right here. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. So, yeah, some good stuff in there. The presentation was the biggest thing in this unit, and it took a lot. It took a lot of work, but it was also a good learning experience as well. Let me get rid of that. All right, cool. So down here, the notes for the electromagnetic spectrum, fill notes, stuff like that. Um, took a look. Sorry, something popped up. All right, worksheet on light. That was homework that the kids did overnight, and then we checked it the next day. Continuing the notes on heat transfer, notes on wind, and like a lot of these days, I don't like doing notes the whole class period. So a lot of them we would do like notes for part of it and do something else, whether it's a small demo, activity, lab, starting to work on the solar cooker, stuff like that. And so just really break it up, break it in half. Notes on the water cycle and clouds. Now, this is the main document for the city's trifold presentation. Cities are here. What you need to include is there. Professional presentation. Kids just aren't really sure what that looks like. We did actually, and you can find these on Google. I Googled a few good presentations and a few bad presentations. And we watched them as a class and just kind of said, hey, this is what's bad about the bad presentations. This is what I appreciate for the good ones. Okay. There's the rubric that I would use to grade them on their presentations as well. Right there. Let's get rid of that. All right. Research. This was something that was a little bit tough for the kids. I did not partner with ELA for this. This would be a really cool thing to partner with them in how to research, how to check their sources, stuff like that. Okay. Basically, kids would research these questions. And this was tough for them to find these answers on the internet. They would come, they would fill it out, they would check it with me before I would allow them to go on to the next step. A lot of them, I would have them give them a few hints, maybe look up a few websites with them, but then send them back and have them try it again. One big thing is kids want to just answer what is going on, like how much precipitation does Grand Rapids get per year. They don't want to go into the why. They struggled with, I should say, getting into why does Seattle get way more precipitation than San Diego, stuff like that, and connecting it to the global air currents. So, yeah, this is another really good thing as far as education goes, because research is tough. Okay, rubric, we already took a look at that. Trifold design, before I gave them their trifold, they had to like draw out where they're going to put the stuff, how they are going to have it, stuff like that. Boom. So that was a lot of it. Those presentations it took a lot of time. They came out, I would say, decently well, considering it was the first time a lot of the kids had done a professional presentation. Okay. Then once again, you have the vocabulary at the end of the unit that we always have, the review questions, and the test. This right here, this is the review questions, the answers. This is the copy of the review questions, the review sheet. Answers once again. Down here, temperature control. When we actually tested our hot dogs, we would test them every 3 minutes. But we needed a control. We already knew that. We learned about that. And so this was just the hot dog that I just left on my desk, and I would just take the temperature every once in a while. By the way, in your closet, there are a couple laser thermometers that work really well for getting that, getting the temperature of the hot dogs. We would actually watch a video. We'd watch that absolute zero video, and then every 3 minutes we just take the temperature of our hot dogs. Okay, I don't know what this is. Looks like it's some leftover data or something like that. Don't know. Have fun with it. All right, so that is weather factors, and as always, use it if you want to. Don't use it if you don't feel like it. That is fine. See ya.